Hunger feels simple. You feel it in your stomach. It starts with a growl. You feel empty and you eat. That's how most of us understand it anyway. It's straightforward, almost automatic. But what if the feeling we experience isn't exactly what we think it is? Welcome to Look Again, the channel where we do not tell you what is true, but where we question what you accept and assume to be true. To be fair, the feeling of hunger, as explained, is what we've all learned, what we all come to experience. From a very young age, the pattern is clear. You cry, you're fed. You feel uncomfortable, you're given food. Time passes, you're fed again. Over time, it becomes almost a second nature. A sensation appears, doesn't matter what kind, and we immediately respond with food. But in doing so, what exactly are we responding to in that moment? We always say a healthy child needs to be plump, but is that really so? We shall address the rearing of children in a separate video, but all over the world, kids are being brought up in this way and it's rarely questioned, or actually never for that matter. And this childhood conditioning doesn't magically disappear when we grow up. So let's start with a simple question. When you say, I'm hungry, what exactly are you feeling? And more importantly, where do you feel it? If you're like most people, your immediate answer will be in the stomach. But the next time this happens, pause for a moment before the stomach becomes loud, before it starts to contract. Is it really where it begins? There are other perspectives that do not coincide with what modern medical science is telling us, nor what we come to consider hunger. Dr. Herbert Shelton, in his monumental book, The Science of Fasting, wrote, "Hunger is not felt in the stomach as commonly believed, but is experienced in the mouth. The true sensation of hunger arises when the body needs nourishment, signaling the mouth to prepare for eating. The stomach does not feel hunger directly. It is in the mouth. It is the mouth that responds to the body's needs." And if that's the case, then what we call beginning of hunger might not be the beginning and might not even be hunger at all. And that's where it gets interesting. You see, we tend to notice always the loudest signal and automatically assume a certain meaning we've always associated with that particular signal. But what if this obvious signal we believe to be hunger is something totally different? What if what we call hunger isn't a single sensation in one place, but something that unfolds gradually across the whole body? We also need to understand that there are other layers to this, because once we start observing more closely, other doubts appear. How often do we feel the urge to eat without any clear physical need? Think about it. You walk past a bakery and smell something, and suddenly you want food. You sit down to watch a movie and popcorn just feels right. You're not necessarily empty, not necessarily weak, but the urge is there and it feels convincing. So there are two possibilities. Either all of these are hunger, or we might be grouping very different signals under the same name. It might be what we call hunger sometimes includes habit, sometimes craving, sometimes just simple response to cues. And do we even actually let this sensation unfold enough to see what it truly is? Because if we do not do that, everything then becomes close enough that we don't really question it. And this becomes even harder to notice today because food is always available everywhere. There is no gap between meals, no real space for the body to sit down and wait to kind of feel this discomfort, to understand it truly, deeply. Just look anywhere you are, food shops, restaurants, everywhere. People always eating, constantly. So are we in a way reliving our own childhood all over again? If we are constantly eating, the body can never reach those deeper stages where it can experience true hunger. So then, what exactly are we experiencing? And there's something else that's easy to miss. The way people describe hunger sometimes is very specific. They say it's a kind of emptiness. They become irritated, restless, and even get a slight headache. They have a sense that something is almost painfully missing and needs to be fixed immediately, or the symptoms grow even more extreme. It's a very recognizable feeling, and if you haven't experienced it yourself, for sure you know someone that demonstrates these traits when they are hungry. Now, did you know how heavy coffee drinkers or alcohol drinkers and also drug addicts describe the sensation of their craving? A kind of emptiness. They become irritated, restless, and they get even a headache. They have the sense that something is painfully missing and that it needs to be immediately fixed, or the symptoms grow even more extreme. So when these feelings or sensation we commonly associate with hunger appear, what exactly are we satisfying in that moment? And this line of thought brings us to the final point. How would we even recognize true hunger at all if we've never felt it? If we've never really allowed it to develop? Maybe, unless you are from the African region, you have, at least the people in the West, they have for sure never experienced hunger. Maybe only those who had fasted for extended periods, such as a week or more just on water. This is important. But particularly those that have done the water fast to completion, they know what, or they have a better relation with hunger, and they experience it differently. And what they describes is very, very different. The urgency is not present. No nauseating feeling, no headaches, no irritability, no pain. The signals become more quieter, more refined, clearer. It is a slow sensation from within that gradually expands to the whole being until it is impossible to ignore. So when people describe what they call extreme hunger, the headaches, the agitation, the urgency, all these, are they the same signal or different sensations we've only learned to come to group together under one label? And in that case, are we truly responding to hunger itself or to patterns our mind and body have been conditioned to recognize? So the next time the stomach growls, when the urge to eat appears, when the smell suddenly triggers a strong desire for food, what exactly is happening in that moment? Is it always the same underlying process, or just a familiar feeling that has become so automatic we never stop to question it anymore? And if something this familiar, this common as hunger, can be misunderstood, what other sensations and feelings are we misunderstanding? And how can we even correctly resolve something we don't quite understand? And if our response to a trigger doesn't match what is really needed, what follows from that? Especially if it keeps repeating. Hunger, it has to be said, is just one expression of a broader pattern. Many of the sensations or feelings we experience daily, or the general conventions we live by, follow the exact same pattern without us noticing. And that is what we keep exploring.